Hey, hello, and welcome to Prime Code Media. My name is Sanama Bena. In this video, I'll be discussing the CSS font size property. The CSS font size property sets the size of text. But before we go any further, it's important to note that text has a default or predefined size, which means that when we use a CSS to specify the font size of text, we are specifying sizes of elements that already have their own size. For example, the default size of normal text like paragraphs is a 16 pixel. Now here I have a level 1 heading, hello world. I have already opened this inside my browser. What I want to do, I'm going to change the font size of this heading to 80 pixel, and I'm going to do that inside the style sheet here using the tag name h1 and then a set of curly braces, and then here will come the CSS rule. What I want to do is to set the font size to 80 pixel. Here's how the heading now looks at 80 pixel. Now let's say, for example, this is your web page and then the user tries or wants to change their browser settings. You'll see what will happen. Let's say the user comes here to settings, appearance, and then they want to change the font size from medium, which is the recommended size, to very large, and then they come back to your web page and then refresh, then nothing changes. Then even if the other user was to come and say select very small and then try to refresh here, still nothing changes. Why is that? This is because the font size doesn't change because I used the static pixels to specify the size, meaning that the font size that I have used here is not dynamic. So to make the font size dynamic, we have two options. First, we can specify the size in percentages. So to specify the size in percentages, first, it is important to note that 100% is equals to 16 pixel. So which means that if we want to convert 80 pixel to a percentage, we will say 80 pixel divided by 16, which will give us 500%. So you can do the calculations if you have your calculator next to you. The aim here was just to show you how we convert pixels to percentages. So now I'm going to delete everything here. So the answer here is 500%. So let's just go check out if everything stays the same despite changes. So everything is the same. Let's just take everything to how it was earlier and then refresh. As you can see, nothing has changed. So the size is the same. The only difference is that this time around we use the percentage to specify the font size. So if the user decided to change the settings to very large, let's go back to now. You can see that the heading font size is large. If the user wanted to select very small, let's see how it looks. Now it looks small. Now the size or the font size is dynamic, and this is because instead of using static pixels, we are using a percentage. Now let me put the settings back to medium, which is the recommended size. Alternatively, you can use EM to specify the font size. Now 16 pixel is equals to 100% if you are using percentages to specify the font size, as I explained earlier, and 16 pixel, okay, 16 pixel is equals to 1 EM. Okay, so the answer here will be 5. That is when we are converting the percentage to em. So the answer here will be 5 em. So let me just delete this here. So 16 pixel multiplied by 5 will take us back to 80 pixel, which we started out with. So while we are here, it is also important to note that percent is 100 times smaller than em, meaning that 1% is equals to 0.01 em. So let's go back and see inside our browser, refresh. So still nothing has changed, because the only thing that we have changed, we have just converted percentage to em. The use of percentage and em ensures web page accessibility for users with visual impairments. The argument, though, against the use of these two is that browsers already provide users with the option to zoom in and out. Anyway, it's a personal choice, but I prefer making font sizes dynamic. What is also important to note that is that when using a percentage or em, the size gets inherited. What does this mean? Let's put this into practice. What this means is that, for example, if, as you can see here, the parent element of this h1 is the body. Now I am going to target the parent element, which is the body, inside here using the tag name body, a set of curly braces. Now I'm going to set the font size here, font size to 2em. Now let's go back to our browser and see how the font size looks like now. Now the text or the heading looks quite larger than it was before we specified the size inside the body. Now the size of this h1 is large. It is larger than before I specified the size of its parent element, the body. This is because the size of the parent element gets added to the size of every individual element. So which means that even if I were to add paragraph elements inside this body and give them a specific or specify their size, the size of the parent element will still be added to those elements. So what's the solution? The solution is to use REM by simply adding R before the EM here. The R stands for root. So REM means relative to the root element's font size. Now let's go check inside our browser. Refresh. Now the font size is back to 5 REM, and this is because by using the REM we ignore the specified font size in the parent element. So the size or the font size that is specified in the parent element is no longer added to the font size of the child element. So when sizing the text, I would recommend using REM over EM and the percentage, and this is because it's reliable, and with it you are less likely to encounter errors. With that, we've come to the end of our discussion. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon to be notified when new videos come out. Till we code again next time, take care. Bye.